Merusaka Nusa Dua, are you ready? Give some noise! Okay, good morning to the gamers and welcome to the largest outdoor esports competition in Southeast Asia. IESF 14 World Esports Championship Bali 2022. Can I have your big round of applause today? Ooh, thank you so much. My name is Brenda Kwan and I'm so glad to be your host today. And right now we are on the fire stage for PUBG Mobile Tournament. And before we start, let me share some information for you about this event. This is the IESF 14 World Esports Championship will be a part of the Indonesia Esports Summit 2022. And this is an annual celebration of the country esports ecosystem initiated by IESF and PBSI. And in this year, the IESF 14 World Esports Championship 2022 followed by 106 countries. With 4 thematic stages, there has Earth stage, Air stage, Ice stage, and Fire stage. And we have 6 games including CSGO, Dota 2, Mobile Legends Bang Bang, PUBG Mobile, eFootball 2022, and Tekken 7. And before we gonna start the match, I would like to tell you that this event can be held by support from our government sponsor. Thank you so much for Kemenparekraf, Kemenpora, KONI, NOC Indonesia, and Wonderful Indonesia with prize pool for PUBG Mobile in total is $100,000. Wow, that has a fantastic total prize that we can see for the match of today. And also you can watch the PUBG Mobile competition through live streaming channel for Twitch is in at ISF_TV5, YouTube PBSI, and garudaku.is. Okay, I believe you can't wait any longer to watch PUBG Mobile match for today. Without any further ado, I will pass the session to our beautiful casters there. That has Chuchu and Donna. Are you ready? Of course, you're so ready.
Thank you, Brenda.
Okay,
We're
so
always
our
ready,
casters,
and I
please
love
take it
her
away.
energy just now.
Yes, absolutely.
And also, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our 14th World Esports Championship 2022 in Bali, brought to you by IESF. I'm Chuchu, and this is the beautiful, as always, amazing Donna. I will be your storytellers for the entire day today. But before that, definitely we have to thank none other than all our sponsors.
Yes, absolutely, because this event has a main sponsor, which is GHL Group. And also sponsored by JHL Auto, Nusa Pay, DAS, Gudang Crypto, Taiwan Excellence, Pertamina, and also Hydro Coco. And we also have official telco partner, which is Telkomsel, and official smartphone partner, Samsung Galaxy A series. Internet service provider partner, IndiHome, travel management partner, HIN, hotel partner, Episode Hotel, and also our beloved venue right here, right now, Merusaka Hotel. Esports broadcaster partner, Minaski Global, IFVL, and also eSeat. Production partner, Lemon ID, and we also have our amazing media partners, Trans7, Detik.com, Esports ID, Video.com, Nusa Dunia Games, Dance TV, Dance Play, Merah Putih, Bola Score, and Kami Bijak.
That's mouthful, but we're still not done and dusted. We have to thank our government support coming out from Kemenpora and Kemenparekraf, coming out from KONI and NOC Indonesia, wonderful Indonesia as well. But before we going into formalities first, it's always about the formalities first. We have to thank none other than our main sponsor, which none other than Samsung A series. If you guys haven't tried the Samsung A series, you should have tried it. There's the latest series of 33, 53, and 73 with the latest Also, chipset of everything else, 8GB of RAM, 256 of the memory, and definitely one of the most important here when it comes to gamers, the frequency or the refresh hertz coming up from the screen itself, 120 hertz with AMOLED screen. So it's really so important with that sort of, for the players, including us.
Definitely. Don't forget also it is 5G, all of the A series also. So ladies and gents, before we jump into the first game of the day, we're gonna refresh your minds about the tournament of the format of this tournament, I mean. And here we go. We are in the play-ins, which contains Group A, B, and also C. Group A contains 7 teams. Group B and C contains 6 teams that they are going to face each other in a round robin. And then the top 11 teams will gonna proceeding to play-ins or main event grand final later on in next week.
Yep, and so far only 11 teams will actually make it through to the grand finals out of all the 19 teams in the group stage right now, the play-ins, and only 16 teams will go to the finals, and we already have 5 invited, including the host team as well. So the main event will be 3 days straight. Same goes for the play-ins. We're down to day number 2 here when it comes to the play-ins. But here comes the point system. It's going to be the same old, nothing much change, except for we don't have until 16 teams. So for A versus B, any team that fighting with Group A, it's going to be consist of 13 teams in total.
Yep.
So the first place with the chicken definitely will take away 15 points. Second place 12, 10 for third, fourth, and so on until 13 to 16 ended up with nil or no point at all. While elimination point is still going to be the same with 1 point.
And of course, total prize pool, like mentioned earlier by Brenda Kwan, our host, is going to be like $100,000 US, which the first or the winner of this tournament will gonna take home the half cut of it, which is $50,000 US. The second will be 30,000 and the third will be 20,000 US. So it's gonna be like a quite unique prize pool breakdown because only top 3 of the teams will gonna have the prize.
You go big or you go home.
Yeah,
that's it.
definitely.
You go big or you go home, and that's it. They have a lot at stake here for the teams. But for the group, definitely we have 3 groups in total of all 19 countries. Libya, Senegal, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Brunei Darussalam, Azerbaijan, Sri Lanka. For Group B, we do have Korea, Mauritius, Bahrain, Chinese Taipei, Vietnam, and Iraq. Group C, we have Ghana, Jordan, Djibouti, Guatemala, Maldives. Last but not least, it's going to be Egypt. And so far, Donna, we've seen in day 1, Group A has been dominating so much. But if you compare with Group B and C, it's a different story.
Totally different story, and I really cannot wait to see what are gonna happen today, because definitely the first day and the second game is gonna be like totally different, because the first days of especially the first 3 games that they played, they only knew a little information about each other, right? Especially like about their drop zone and also about the rotation itself. So that's why we saw like a lot of early clashes that happened on the first day. So after they evaluate their game style or their strategy, they are gonna have a pretty much a different kind of story for today. But I feel like Group A is gonna still dominating for the entire group stage here.
Speaking of them, definitely that's true, because the first and second place are coming up from Saudi Arabia and Brunei. They are in the Group A with so much point in the lead if you compare with Jordan and Egypt, who's actually in Group C. So where is the teams coming up from Group B? We have no clue so far.
Too bad for them. And today is like do or die situation, especially for some of the team that collected only like single digit points in total, because like they only like gonna play for how much games they have left?
They don't have that much anymore. It's going to be only 2 days.
Yeah, only 2 days.
For the play-ins. If they can't make it after the play-ins, it's going to be a bit of a problem. We're talking about Azerbaijan, if I'm not mistaken, of the teams. So there's only one team actually at the bottom when it comes to the overall we've seen before. But the lead coming out from Group A is just tremendous. If you compare it with the second page, I mean, like, I wouldn't mind Group A and Group C, but I really want Group B to work today.
Yeah, definitely. So do I I really like. I really want to see the different kind of game today compared to the first day. And but I do really like how Saudi and also Brunei really like consistent throughout the games, throughout the first day that we saw earlier.
But also speaking of which, you guys always in the chat as well gonna say something like, "Oh, these guys are PMGC players. These guys are R8 players when it comes to Saudi, and also from Brunei, they are non-PMGC teams." So what is your excuse? So basically, I've mentioned this to you before off screen, right? That the Brunei team, Brunei Darussalam, really have good players. It's just they don't have their pro league back in the scene. And now all they have to prove right now is why they deserve one, because they are on number 2 spot if you compare with all 19 teams, 19 countries competing. And also, I'm not sure about how they're gonna fare when it comes to the grand final, right? We have no clue yet because the grand final team is still waiting. But when it comes to compare with Vietnam, those are Eagle Esports teams. Used to be so long. Even Chinese Taipei, one team esport, they still have a bit of a struggle when it comes to Group B.
Yeah, Brunei really give us a surprise here, especially in the 14th World Esports Championship. And I really cannot wait, Chuchu, and also all of you guys to see and watch the first game of today. But before that, we have to predict.
Oh, are we going Group A? Do we have a choice? Is it the Brunei, I think, or Saudi Arabia? That's it for us.
For me,
I think Saudi.
Saudi.
Yeah, we're gonna go both Saudi. Yeah.
Both Saudi for us, because like they really dominated the first day for this tournament, and I feel like they still like got their confidence and their spirit.
It's beyond confident. You saw how they were just dominating every single match. It's not just that. Don't forget, for the first match, we're going to go A versus B.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Group C, at least we have a bit of a spiciness in it. It's going to be Jordan.
Yeah.
So Jordan do have a bit of competition against Saudi Arabia. But when it comes to Saudi Arabia, yes, we do have Brunei Darussalam, but it's just so different of level. If you see, like you mentioned, their confidence, they're just very mature when it comes to their rotation as well. So they know exactly what they want to do. But do we have any contenders for Saudi Arabia then?
Except Brunei, of course. Except Brunei, I think I'm... let me think a bit. Because
Chinese Taipei?
Chinese Taipei, yeah. Because like I mentioned on the first day, I have like a quite high expectation for Chinese Taipei, but they didn't really show me what they got actually. Because actually Chinese Taipei got some of a really great year here, especially in the Asia Pacific Cup, because they placed second in the Asia Pacific Cup Fall 2022. Just happened like a few moments ago.
That's kind of true. Now, achievement putting aside, are you guys ready? All the players ready? Yeah, I think they can't hear me now. I think, yeah, some of them like, yeah, we're ready. The one at my back like, yeah, we're ready. So we are ready. Are you guys ready? Let's jump straight into our official first match of Day 2 Play-ins.
Let's go. Yes, let's go, ladies and gentlemen, to the first flight of today, round 1 of Day 2, PUBG Mobile, in the 14th World Esports Championship, Bali 2022. But before we talk about the flight path and also the circle and also all of the drop zone, maybe some of the viewers here is kind of like confused. Why is it the second day? Because like, for your information, ladies and gentlemen, we have an off day yesterday for this for 2 days straight. So it's technically, it is like a 4th day in the IESF itself, but the
for
second,
PUBG.
for PUBG, it is second day. That's why.
Thanks for clearing that up. That's kind of true, because if you guys haven't known, IESF, the World Esports Championship, comprises of 6 different titles, including PUBG Mobile. So it's gonna be the 4th day in total, but second day for PUBG Mobile.
Yep.
Back to us again. We're looking over who's going to drop over Pachinki. And so far, we do have contenders there as always. And on the left side, there's not much going on. I was hoping a bit more drop towards Jogopul Hospital. But the ones dropping on the right side definitely got the circle towards them. But we're looking over at the edge of the circle. That was just super overcrowded just now.
Definitely super overcrowded, especially like with this kind of first circle that has popped out towards the eastern side of the map itself. Is gonna be like the western side team is gonna like rethink their strategy and also rethink their position. Is it are we gonna have still go to the western side? But we can see on the elimination feed the early engagement of war between Sri Lanka and also, I believe this is
Iraq. This is
yeah.
Iraq. They got knocked down from Sri Lankan players from afar. So I'm not sure if they want to commit to it for Sri Lanka team, but they can actually have it a go since the team coming up from Iraq don't really have equipment built up yet. So need their gears and loot up while they can. But the problem is, do they have the space here? Definitely coming from Sri Lanka, they're not overcommitted to it. That's quite a genius and also the right move to do. Because if not, we might have a third party too early on.
Yeah, that is also a good situation for Iraq, right? Because like they are not contested, really committed by Sri Lanka itself. But we can see all of the other position from the teams as well. Here we go. We can see Senegal. I think for the current position, Senegal is not really that great in terms of like the overall leaderboard.
So far, I feel like they're still struggling to adapt towards the rotations and also the drop spot quite early on. So it's still the second day. But like, you know, I call this a judgment day because it's the middle of the first 3 days of playing. So if they want to make it, or they might break it, this is the middle point here. It's because if they want to catch up things tomorrow, it might just be a bit too late since the lead will be just too far of a gap. Back to the side of Senegal. You know what? I've actually listened to their one of their managers actually spoke to me and saying that they're really just not used to the adaptation yet. So I have a feeling after 2 days of break, they might actually do it today.
Yeah, actually, because like there are a lot of things to do in the 2 days of break yesterday. So, and I believe it's not only Senegal, but also a lot of teams as well and a lot of countries as well. They adapt with the condition and also with the all of the rules itself that applied in this tournament. And we can see here Brunei, and I believe this is at around Rozok, and because Rozok is still inside of the circle itself for the first circle, their position is gonna be like safe, and they still have so much time, especially if they want to gatekeep all of the other teams or countries that will be coming from the western side.
Yep. But so far, no first few contenders set for the Sri Lanka team, who happens to be exchanging fires with the side of Iraq. Other than that, it's quite relatively calm for now before the storm hits. I think it's going to be a third or the fourth circle. But we never know. Sometimes these guys just happen to be more aggressive. And it's happened to be accumulated on one side of the map, which is going to be the eastern side. I think in the middle of the map itself, around Pachinki down towards the side of Milta, are all the teams happen to be concentrating in. But we do have a couple of teams coming on military base, which is going to be the Chinese Taipei. I think they are probably one of a few teams only in the Soronska military base.
SMB is only occupied by Chinese Taipei, and also Novo is occupied only by Guatemala. So only two teams that occupy the southern island of the Erangel itself. So it's quite usual, because like we usually see this kind of like a drop spot being played in PMPL or PMGC as well, right? Only two teams or two countries occupy the southern or SMB island itself. But we saw earlier that Saudi Arabia has some chill earlier time that they seems like don't have any burden in their head.
Oh, For now.
For now.
For now. I mean, like
for
by
early game.
end of today, it's gonna be a different story entirely. I mean, like by end of today, everybody will start to have a face palm moment and think about what we've done the entire day.
Yeah.
So I mean, like right now is the first match of the day. It's quite early. It's quite a good morning. So everybody's still, I think they half sleepy probably. So not having
Don't we all?
I think so. We need coffee definitely.
Yep.
But back to the side of the teams just now, right? Like we saw some teams seems like they might actually. I was walking right in front of Big Star earlier today.
Oh, really?
He was really quiet. I think he's trying to focus himself. Well, he's actually walking alone instead of with the team this morning. Now got himself a mini 14, spotted out the Pakistan team. But he will not release fire yet. It will expose his position now. He's challenging them. Vast managed to just the scathe of HP left. Oh, that was so close.
Oh my god.
Big Star, that must be devastating.
Yeah. It must be. If I am Big Star, I must be upset. And now I'm just only chilling, but yelling. But as you mentioned, Big Star is quite shy and also quite chill for a person, so that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna be like the scenario for Big Star itself. But what I kind of see like two teams is gonna play a really late rotation from Vietnam and also from, I believe this is Mauritius, like yes, Mauritius, Vietnam and also Mauritius, because like we see from the live status on the right screen, they are still in the blue zone, and it's quite okay because like this is the first circle. It's not gonna be like a big of deal for them.
But the thing is, for Vietnam especially, they have been playing like this for the past few games. I'm like literally the entire day of Thursday. I feel like it didn't work out for them. Yeah, it can work when it comes to positions, but the thing is, with this format right now, after like what season, I think PUBG season 5 possibly, like what season 4 I think possibly.
4, I think.
Yeah, they changed the format. So this format, it's not like how it used to be, like 25 chicken dinner point. It's like 15. So like, you know, they have to balance it out with eliminations. Now Vietnam has been really trying to be careful when it comes to rotation. Maybe they still try to adjust based on rotation first, then maybe they're trying to adjust to its execution. But right now, it doesn't seem to work for me. Vietnam is always being caught red-handed or being caught off guard when they're rotating in the last few seconds, always being brought down easily. I think they should change something by end of day too.
Yeah, especially if with a lot of knowledge and also a lot of information that has been gathered by all of the teams, especially like the like Team Saudi Arabia and also maybe a lot of the teams as well that got in up the edge of the circle. So if they knew a lot of teams will come later in terms of rotation, they are gonna like waiting at the edge of the circle and gatekeep them. But that is not the case here that I saw, because like some of the gatekeeper is actually moving in towards the center of the circle.
Now, speaking of the center of the circle, we might actually have the Medusa intersection circle again, which we had in the first day, the first match of Irangel as well. Now back towards the circle. Now this is going to be one of the most common circle. Again, we do have Libya coming up from Lipovka, the only team coming up from the right side of the circle. While we do have, if I'm not mistaken, is it going to be, who was with the tech line of GMT and SMB just now earlier today? I don't think it was Chinese Taipei team.
No, Chinese Taipei, because like it is SMB Island.
Or was it Guatemala team that actually coming up from the southern part? But the rest of them, Bahrain right now, seems like cowering in the corner for a bit. Tried to take a fires against Brunei Darussalam. Spotted out Chewy. It's going to be Choto coming up from Bahrain. But at the same time, they do have one more team behind them. It's going to be Saudi SK Tan, just being cheeky here.
Oh my god, and I really like how they're being cheeky or sneaky assassin. And SK Tan spotted one man from Bahrain but did not open the fire yet. He want to wait, even though with that mini 14 he waited just now. And I don't know when will they or Saudi Arabia is going to engage the war between them and Bahrain.
For now, I think they just try to get information relayed back to the rest of the road. So the moment you fire, you're going to exploit yourself in position. That's going to be on the side of Iraq, being chased down on the side of the South Korea team. And this is going to be a bit of a problem. He's being cornered there. for the player. Back towards the side of Iraq. They have been followed through and through, and there's not a breather at all for them.
Oh my god, this is gonna be like not a good situation for Reva itself, because South Korea's player is gonna lock him up. And look at the movement of the other players. Well, Big Star is gonna move around with his vehicle and scouting out the players from Team Iraq itself. But Kalaga now, I think he's gonna do a really good backup for his teammates.
A bit too exposed if you ask me, really.
Yeah.
Quite in the open with no barrier in between. He got spotted out. Ural! What a beautiful spray from Kalaga now. He needs to close things up really fast here. He's quite in the open. They will be exposing his position. He might actually get a double down, but still not enough. In the meantime, we do have a lot of tails gatekeeping on the side of Kalaga. He's been followed very closely behind. The rest of the team coming up from Iraq slowly catching up, but they will not overcommit themselves here. So the Iraq team realized, you know what, we need to get into the safe zone first. It's going to be the center of the circle. That's the wisest thing to do.
Yep. Wise thing to do, especially with Saudi Arabia hunting them down now. But I think like if Saudi Arabia really want to take this chance to really mess up with both of the team, they actually can. Oh, not Saudi. I mean Pakistan.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I misread the flag itself. So we're gonna see the third circle that is gonna be like a pretty extreme bounce towards the southeast area.
Well, at the same time, I will mention about the Medusa intersection here, as always. And the junction between the shelter, Milta, and around the farm is going to be on the right side. Definitely those coming out from Milta don't have that too much of a problem to get their journey going on. Back to the side of Korea, on the other hand, they had a bit of a car issue of vehicles, but we do have racing toward the peak of a mountain between Sri Lanka and Iraq again. What is just wrong with them? Everywhere they go, there will be somebody chasing Iraq.
Oh my god, but not only two teams is meeting each other up in their rotation, their way into towards the circle, but also any other team as well. Not Senegal, but I believe this is Azerbaijan is gonna join the fight between them. Senegal as well is nearby Guatemala and also Sri Lanka.
But at the same time, the Brunei is being shot down by the side of Saudi Arabia, one of the top two teams here right now. But Senegal start to spray against GG boys coming up from Azerbaijan. But the thing is, Zanos is not happy. He couldn't wrap things up. He tried to get one knock. GG boys managed to just flee away in a moment. Iraq, on the other hand, waiting on the other side of the mountain. We do have Senegal teams waiting for them to pop out for Azerbaijan, but they definitely play the higher ground advantage. But the problem with Azerbaijan right now, if they're being hammed both left, right, and even center here. We're talking about both sides and having two different teams entirely. Brunei's, on the other hand, they're being spotted out by the side of Saudi Arabia. I'm not sure where are the teams of Saudi Arabia, how they move right. Because right now they're being so proactive, nitpicking every single team that they can actually see.
Oh my god, but not only the other team that you mentioned earlier meeting each other up, but now Vietnam. Vietnam seems to be nearby of Lord, one of the players from Mauritius, I believe. And now also Bahrain is gonna rotate, is gonna like build or pave their way in towards the circle, and this is gonna be like a bunch of information that need to be collected, especially by Vietnam.
This is just too saturated right now on the side of a upper right side of a map, more towards on the east, north. And we're talking about 3 or 4 teams. Same goes there. Those actually almost getting into circle. Where we do have Libya fighting against another team, which is going to be Bahrain. One shot already waiting on the other end. But Bahrain, Choto retaliate, taking one shot straight away into the grave. Libya couldn't actually read this one now. But we do have a CQC, the close quarter combat between 20 of Vietnam fighting against the Mauritius team as well. But where are the rest of cavalry? They are struggling inside of a 4 circle here. This is not where they want to stand and wait. They need to move it.
Yeah, and I think Lore is gonna be taken down by Vietnam because that was a good Molotov play and thrown into the second level of the building itself. And just like that, Mauritius has left only with 3 of their player. Vietnam now exceeding their point in terms of elimination point, and it's good for them, especially for the starting point in the second game.
But at the same time, we're looking at the circle who just popped just now, coming out from the northern side. There's going to be Saudi tapping it down towards the those coming out from the north. They're going to gatekeep this one. While the rest of Bahrain, though, they're going to have a bit of a fun time. Just going to sneak peek and just snipes from afar. Back to the side of Choto. They want to get themselves in the high ground. They do have gatekeepers on the other end. We do have Sri Lanka are still chasing the tails of Senegals, and they're going to have it a go for a quite long time. Hopefully they won't get that far too long the process.
Oh, but on the other side, Vietnam is going to be retaking one of the compound that occupied by South Korea right now. They are trying really hard, but Vietnam still have their 3-man, but not a good situation for them because some of the man is in low HP, and even 212K managed to get 1 man down from South Korea itself, and South Korea only left with 3, not 3 but 2, and 212K is really on fire right now. And just like that, South Korea only left with 1 man standing.
Oh, but wait, we have a third party coming in. Saudi Arabia waiting for the right time. They've been watching around Korea all this way. And now Eagles, I should say Vietnam team here, 20, begging for help. He's bleeding out. Here comes the last member, but Saudi, they got counter fire. It's going to be coming out from Uriel and also Chua. What is happening? But still they have a bit of a casualty, a minor one. Only 0 D7 being eliminated, but Saudi Arabia, again, that's how they win the fight.
Yeah, definitely being the sneaky assassin, and just like that, that collected 4 elimination point already, and we're gonna see the fight, the big fight between Team Bahrain and also right now, I believe this is like Azerbaijan, and now Team Bahrain, just like that, they left with only 1 player.
Toto trying to spray around, hoping it will clip and connect. Waldo trying to actually do the same thing here. Karlaga kept on popping off the feed here. We're talking about taking a fight against Azerbaijan and still gonna give it a go. Zeus climbing up to Ezekiel, cooking up the nade, hoping it will land to the side of Hassan. It's going to Team Bahrain struggling to keep the boat afloat. Senegals on the other end, they are clamped down for the side of Bahrain here. Left, right and center, they are being cornered. Zeus slowly giving them the pressure. Rawi coming out from the side of Bahrain on the other end. Libya pushing it to go, but still taking it out in sweet time. Now they can reset for Bahrain, but problem is, do they have enough time? Rawi taking on someone. It's going to be the last person. Oh, Bahrain bowing out at 10th place.
Oh my god, and I thought it was gonna be like a 3-way showdown because we can see that Iraq is really crawling in their way towards this war, but Iraq choose to be not really committed into the war that they made, but Brunei now really finding 2 men from their enemy, but didn't make those knockdown or even elimination, but thankfully the backup is still there for Brunei.
But at the same time, both titans of the group, Brunei and also sort of Saudi Arabia, still in there. Well, Brunei's have 1 player bleeding out. It's going to be Newbie hoping for help, but Chewy being pressured. It's going to be coming out from the side of Ghana, giving a pressure. Never mind, it's Mauritius actually.
Yeah.
And they're being eliminated at 9. They got themselves the high ground. They got themselves the upper hand. But they're just going to wrap things up. The side of Chewy, he tried to save Newbie. Maybe in the meantime, they try maybe just abandon him because they don't have enough time. Yep, there's going to be abandonment done as this is going to be the 5th phase, and it will be burning them quite a lot when it comes to the HP.
They need to hurry up because they are now battling with Blue Zone. The Saudi Arabia, we can see they are ready up to get into the zone. Chinese Taipei, on the other hand, they are tailing any other teams in the western side of the circle itself. But Pakistan, I believe that they are really ready with the smoke up, with the reach itself to cover themselves from their enemy. from up front, but not with Sri Lanka. Now 1 man down. Chengfu has spotted players from Sri Lanka, but there are counter-attack coming from Sri Lanka, but Chengfu is still alive.
They have to be extra careful. Pakistan in between there. If they just overcommit, that's going to be a big problem. Back to us on the other end. Those actually on the higher ground. Senegals and the other teams are fighting. We're down to only 17, 24 players remain in the 5th circle with 45 seconds on the clock. They need to actually move if they're not in the safe zone here, including the Chinese Taipei. Just backing it up towards the blue zone. The Samurai just bought himself a couple of energy boosts. He needs to move forward. Got himself a buggy that's going to hop throughout the smoke and going to move straight into Pakistan's air. And also back towards the side of Reva, they managed to shot down on Saudi Arabia player, but I'm not sure if they can reset or not for the side of Saudi Arabia. Hong, on the other hand, just being blinded by the flashes.
Oh my god, it's gonna be like a big chaos happening in the southwest area of the circle itself. Now Pakistan and also Chinese Taipei cannot really bail out from the war that they made. But also Sri Lanka watching them down, hunting them down. But Chinese Taipei managed to take one more knockdown from Sri Lanka, and that is gonna stop Sri Lanka from attacking Chinese Taipei and also Pakistan.
It's going to be the bunkers fight between the Pakistan and also the Chinese Taipei. Daku really want to go for it. Fast, waiting for the right time. Golden taking on Senegal Dax. But here comes Payne. Try to fight his way through out from this bunker. They stay in the tunnel. It's going to be okay as well. But Payne wants to go for more. Toss out with the DBS over towards his side. Shark. Chinese Taipei is focusing towards the other end and they focus on Sri Lanka, but Payne want to go for them behind them, but they couldn't reach it. It's just too high and too risky coming up from Pakistan.
Right, it's a big calamity for them, especially Chinese Taipei and also Pakistan, because they still have Sri Lanka out there hunting them down once again, and especially with the circle shifted towards them, it's gonna be like not. They are both Pakistan and also Chinese Taipei don't really need to hurry to finish the war.
Yep, they got themselves inside of the circle, true. They don't need to move that much, but the problem is they're quite in the open here. Back to the side, Reba! I mean, that spray with that vehicle in between. He just lost that duel. Back to the side of Golden and managed to finish off Libya straight off. Back to the side of Iraq. They've been hunted and haunted since the start, but they are still breathing. Down to Kalaga and Volt. And all they need to do is just revive 2 more, but they are just in the middle of a crossfire, and Saudi happens to be there as well. Pakistan and also Chinese Taipei hadn't been going here for the longest time.
Longest time, and now we can see the initiate, not the second, but I don't know, I lost count how many initiate of a war that they made, but Saudi Arabia right now has been punished by Iraq, but Iraq really need to be extra careful because their position is also not really good.
And back to the side of Pakistan. Oh! The long fight has done and dusted. Finally, it's going to be Pakistan winning over Chinese Taipei. That's a huge one. Coming from the side of Pakistan, securing themselves 5 eliminations. But the one this time is actually leading off the chart. It's going to be the hunted down, haunted Iraq. But never mind, man, when we mentioned them, they're being jinxed. They've been eliminated. Next, we're down to only 3. It's going to be, again, Saudi Arabia still survive. Pakistan and also Sri Lanka remains.
Oh my god, Saudi Arabia with only 2 men remaining. They now collected 7 elimination already. Even though they lost this game, even though they don't get the winner chicken dinner, they still collected enough points in total to really secure their place on top of the leaderboard itself. But I believe even though they only left with 2 men, they still have those energy. They still have those energy, especially we can see with Pakistan and also Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka starting to fight with against the Pakistan team. Now the problem is the one that actually winning might be Saudi, but Tan be shot down by Pharaoh. They will not actually give this away. Dalmi trying to actually do damage control. The last remaining member coming out from Saudi Arabia will the first time. Saudi will not be taking the first chicken here if you compare it with Sri Lanka and Pakistan will have their debut when it comes to the chicken on the second day. Vast and the rest of Pakistan team remains with Pharaoh and Daku. They still have enough men. If you compare it with Sri Lanka, who got one man knocked down as well, this equals out the odds for 3v3 between the Pakistan and Sri Lanka. But Saudi, they remain with only one member. They need to reset and revive, but it's just too far amongst each other.
Yep, and now they're gonna be like really extra careful. Amare spotted one man from the enemy side. Dami itself is really interesting to see how he's spotted and out of the game, eliminated by Pakistan.
Oh, this is going to be good news for Pakistan and also the first Sri Lanka team. Both teams are very new, not getting any chicken. Vast trying to spot out Sri Lanka players on the flank side. Going for further behind. Susti taking on Vast. Daku trying to make a play. Susti, we're actually really having such a responsibility to carry out the entire team in the front line. Pharaoh with the vehicle. Gonna move forward. Trying to make a play, but they still stay quiet and back to resetting for both teams.
Yeah, resetting to V2. They really need to rethink what kind of strategy, what kind of move, what kind of spot that they really need to be guarding up. Daku, on the other hand, will guarding up the right side of the defensive area of Pakistan itself. Meanwhile, Hazen, I believe that the step is heard by Daku itself, but Daku still quiet up there, down there.
They're trying to spot out the rest of Sri Lanka. Pharaoh tried to find out Hazen's position. Daku, they're just not in their favor when it comes to the terrain. But the circle's still in between here. We're talking about Daku having the toughest spot, or maybe even Pharaoh. One of them need to move. Same goes for Sri Lanka. They're having 2-2 here. Both of them are split out, trying to find Pharaoh and Susti just across each other. Same goes for Daku and Hazen. Now, whoever spots here first is going to be the one to exploit the position. If they don't whiff, great. If they do, it's going to be the end. So they're going to go forward. He found it out, Pharaoh. He got one. Down to Daku. Finally, they finish off, wreck things up. Sri Lanka with their first chicken in a what a play.
Oh my god, that was a beautiful play coming from Sri Lanka from the very, very beginning of the game itself. But with that, three teams that are proceeding into the late game, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, and also Sri Lanka, we still see the domination of Group A itself.
That's true, and not just that, coming up this time, Iraq really shows what a performance when it comes to elimination. They got themselves the highs with a double digit. If you compare, it's not really easy to get double digit due to so few of the team that compare than the standard. But let's go straight into the highlight as usual while we're looking over something that you guys actually might miss.
Yep, we get a early engagement between Iraq and also South Korea, and what can I see here is actually a lot of teams or countries is actually meeting each other up earlier in the game in their way in or their rotation, but they didn't really engage the war that big. Only like several teams initiate a maybe compound retake and also a war, but not that much.
That's true. But I have to give a lot of respect to the side of Iraq. They've been hunted down since the early start. We're talking about Chinese Taipei being tailing them, Korea been tailing them, and then the other teams been tailing. Basically, wherever they go, they're being hunted down, and they can't even rest. But they still manage to have such composure, being so calm regarding how they're being pressured. They still manage to counter fire. They still manage to secure so many eliminations, even though they are the ones being hunted down. It's not an easy feat to do. But back towards the side of Chinese Taipei and Pakistan, I have to say that was a really well done coming up from Pakistan team. That shelter spot just on the bunker area is just so hard, even though it's an open area. But back towards the side of Saudi Arabia, I mean, like, what else can we say? They are just pretty good when it comes to overall.
Yes, especially like even though they only left with 2 players, but they still show us the confidence of Saudi Arabia itself, and they don't really hesitate to take the different kind of angle or splitting each other up to secure the elimination towards Pakistan and also Sri Lanka. But Sri Lanka once again won the game. Take the first winner in the chicken dinner in the second game of PUBG Mobile.
And finally, we have different flags flying. I'm loving this feeling. I
Yeah.
mean, like we always have the same flag the entire day. Now, is that gonna be the trend for Sri Lanka today as well? If they can maintain consistency, since we're talking about Group A has been really dominating, we do want to see Group B. Nobody in Group B. I mean, like Chinese Taipei and Vietnam. And also Iraq has been very aggressive, but they never managed to secure the placement in the last minute. They're always one of the teams that's really aggressive when it comes to getting eliminations. But for Vietnam, I'm going to say otherwise because they have been playing very safe. And it's still not working out for them again. It's always them to get into the blazer early on, try to play the rotation, we'll try to get to top 5. But it's so hard to see them there.
Yeah. But what I can see or what I can say is actually I'm quite liking Chinese Taipei energy today because they've evolved a lot from what I can say, like from especially compared to the first day, because like with that war with Pakistan, they don't really like lost the war easy.
That's true. And also they were fighting a different team entirely when they're fighting team coming up from Pakistan, the same compound, the same CQC. But it was a really risky thing to do since they are in the middle of everybody else. Plus, it's just giving away their position by the other teams. But you know what? It's so many voices right now, but I'm so confused what I'm saying. But yeah, and speaking of the next one, we're still going to have A versus B. So it's going to be 3 games straight of A versus B. Next one is going to be Miramar.
Miramar, the hottest map and the largest map itself, will gonna be played still with A and also a B. And from yesterday we can see the first or the starting domination of Saudi Arabia happened in Miramar. And with that kind of confidence and also with that kind of spirit that we saw in the first game, I believe that Saudi Arabia only need a little walk to win the game, especially for the second game.
Oh man, I mean, like they are dominating. I mean, I don't want the gap to be too wide, you know. You just want to have a good suspense at the end of it. But are we not getting that?
And then after we saw the highlights and talk about the teams, we're gonna see the match rankings, which won by Sri Lanka with 7 elimination points. But look at Iraq, they collected 13 elimination points, the biggest so far.
Even though they got themselves in the 4th place just now, yes, they still ended up in the top 5, but they got themselves 8 placement points.
Yep.
They pushed themselves quite a lot when it comes to 21 points in total, just 1 point differ if they actually compare with the first place. But Pakistan and Saudi still maintains consistency, especially when it comes to Saudi Arabia. That's something still widening up the gap. They are just too far reached right now, starting off day 2. But I do love Pakistan debut here today. It's the rising of the teams that has been very quiet, but still nobody coming up from Group B getting any chicken. I'm still waiting if that's going to happen.
Especially with Chinese Taipei, I quite surprised with the late game that they got, but 0 elimination point, no elimination point at all. Even though they got like some knocks out, especially towards Sri Lanka, but they didn't manage to finish a lot of it.
Yeah, it's always about how you wrap things up. In this case, they didn't manage to do so. It's really unfortunate for them. But on the overall stat, this time we have a bit more than usual. Previously, don't know, we always have 46 as an average for the elimination. But this time we have 50.
Finally.
So this is, I mean, like the most we can get is like what, 50 something? 53, I think, was it around the
53,
yeah, that's the most players.
Most players.
I mean, but this time we get 50. I mean, like, that's quite a lot of numbers.
Yep.
And also the most longest elimination, this is not the longest yet. So far, the highest or the longest elimination we've seen for the distance is going to be 393.
Yeah, 393.
393.
Almost 400. Yes, so ladies and gentlemen, we are finished with the first game of today. And before we jump into the second game, which is going to be happen in Miramar, we're going to toss it back to our amazing host, which is Brenda Kwan herself. So, Brenda Kwan, take this out.
Thank you so much to our beautiful casters. There has Donna Fiska and also Choo Choo. And wow, this is a very exciting match. And congratulations to Sri Lanka to get the chicken on the first match. So to the gamers, don't go anywhere because we are going to watch more exciting match still on IESF 14 World Esports Championship 2022. We'll be right back.